On Parade, 15 minutes of music in the modern manner, sweet and slow, light and bright, produced for your entertainment by the Directorate of Public Relations of the Australian Army, featuring Laurie Wilson of the Hammond organ and backed by the On Parade Quintet. And here we are on parade again. Our topic of interest this week is National Service Training. No doubt you realize the value this training is to Australian youth and the community. But did you know that 160,000 young men have now been called up under this scheme, which came into being in 1951? Throughout Australia, 10 National Service Training units have handled 3 intakes of trainees each year since it became necessary for Australia to prepare to meet the threat of possible global war. Let me pause here a moment while we take in our first number from the quintet. It's Avalon. That item was our tribute to national servicemen everywhere who, with few exceptions, appreciate the defense requirements of this country. Mostly they prove, too, to be chips off the old block. Their instructors, from corporal to commanding officer, have found them to have the same initiative, humor, and ingenuity as the diggers of the 2 world wars. In fact, senior officers believe these national servicemen to be equal in every way to the fighting ability of the AIF men in both world wars. And now for an interlude with Arlene Forrest, who will sing for us Moonlight in Vermont.
Pennies in a stream, falling leaves, a sycamore, moonlight in Vermont. I see finger waves, ski trails on a mountain slide, snowlight in Vermont. Telegraph cables, they sing down the highway and travel each bend in the road. People who meet in this romantic setting are so hypnotized by the lovely evening summer
For a composite picture of national service training under the Army's recently instituted reorganization program, we'll focus on a unit in one of the smaller commands, Western Australia's 17 National Service Training Company at Campbell Barracks, Swanbourne. There, nearly 300 trainees commanded by Major Merton Bath get their introduction to Army life in a picturesque setting on the shores of the Indian Ocean, 12 miles from Perth. For part of their core training, which is really the specialist side of their work, they are the only Australian national servicemen to go overseas. Overseas means a short trip to Rottnest Island, a well-known holiday resort 11 miles from Fremantle. But the boys soon find it's no vacation for them. Part of the island, which had an important wartime coastal defense role, is a perfect infantry training ground. And as there are no dusky guitar-strumming islanders available right now, we're substituting with Laurie Wilson at the Hammond organ playing Love Can Change the Stars. An interesting point about the reduced national service intakes has been the number of volunteers who just don't want to miss training. For the first balloted intake in Western Australia, there were more than 100 volunteers, most of whom will be trained before the end of this year. Many of the volunteers are joining national service ranks to take preliminary training with a view to changing to the regular army for a military career. While on the subject of volunteers, Western Australia has the highest ratio of enlistments for the whole of the Commonwealth. Over 25% of Army recruits come from the West. Well, time has run out on us again, so here's the quintet with our final number for this week, Make Believe. And that's all for this week for our national servicemen. And now this is Chris Christensen saying cheerio until the same time next week when this program, produced by the Directorate of Public Relations of the Australian Army and recorded by AWA, is again on parade.